Hey everyone, and welcome back to Thesaurus Thrive. I'm Lily, and I'm so excited to be here with you today.
And I'm Ava. We've got such a fascinating topic for you today, something I think many of you have probably wondered about or wished for. Imagine improving your English without even trying. Well, not exactly without trying, but definitely with a lot less effort than you might think.
Exactly, Ava. Today we're diving into the idea of improving your English through relaxing listening practice, especially as you drift off to sleep or just unwind after a long day. It sounds a bit like magic, doesn't it?
It really does. But trust us, there's a lot of sense behind it, and it's a fantastic, low-stress way to boost your English. We all know how stressful traditional studying can be, right? Feeling pressured to memorize grammar rules or vocabulary lists.
Absolutely. And that stress can actually hinder your learning. What we're talking about today is a much gentler approach. It's all about consistent, gentle exposure to English, allowing your brain to absorb sounds, rhythms, and patterns in a relaxed state.
So if you've ever thought, I wish I could learn English while I sleep, or I just don't have enough time to study, then this episode is definitely for you. We're going to break down how this works, what kind of content is best, and give you some super practical tips to start trying it tonight.
That's right. So let's just jump right in. The core idea here is not about miraculously learning an entire language overnight, because let's be realistic, that's not how language acquisition works. What we're talking about is leveraging your brain's incredible ability to process information and form connections, even when your conscious mind is resting or distracted.
Yeah, it's about creating an environment where your brain can just soak up English. Think of it like this. When you're super focused, your brain is actively working, trying to understand every single word. That can be exhausting, especially when you're still learning.
Exactly. But when you're relaxed or even sleeping, your brain shifts into a different mode. It's more receptive to patterns, to the musicality of the language, to the intonation. It's not actively trying to translate or analyze, but rather it's just listening. And that passive listening is incredibly powerful over time.
It's like when you hear a song on the radio many, many times. You don't sit down and study the lyrics, but after a while you can probably sing along, right? Your brain just picked it up through repeated exposure.
That's a perfect analogy, Ava, and it's the same principle here. When you listen to English, especially content that's designed to be calming and easy to follow, you're giving your brain a constant, gentle bath in the language. You're familiarizing yourself with natural speech rhythms, common phrases, and even how words connect in sentences.
So what are the actual benefits of doing this, Lily? Besides it being super relaxing, of course.
That's a great question, Ava. There are several key benefits. First, and probably most importantly for many learners, it reduces anxiety around learning English. When you're not actively trying to study, there's no pressure to perform, no fear of making mistakes. It makes the whole process feel much lighter and more enjoyable.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that. I remember feeling so much pressure in language classes. This sounds like such a relief.
Right? Second, it builds passive vocabulary and improves comprehension. Even if you're not consciously focusing on every word, your brain is still picking up on frequently used words and phrases. Over time, these words start to feel familiar, and when you encounter them in active learning, they're not completely new.
So it's like planting seeds in your brain. You don't see them growing immediately, but they're there, ready to sprout later.
Exactly. It also really helps with improving your accent perception and intonation. English has its own unique rhythm and stresses. By listening to natural, clear speech, even at a low volume, your brain starts to internalize these patterns. This can make your own speaking sound more natural and fluent down the line.
That makes so much sense. Sometimes I hear a native speaker and I just can't quite grasp why they sound so natural. But if my brain is absorbing those rhythms, it probably helps without me even realizing it.
Precisely. And finally, it creates a positive association with English. If learning English feels relaxing and pleasant, you're much more likely to stick with it. It becomes less of a chore and more of a comforting routine.
That's huge. Motivation is key, and if you can make learning enjoyable, you're halfway there.
So now that we understand why this works and what the benefits are, let's talk about the practical side. What kind of content should you be listening to? This is super important because not all English audio is created equal for this purpose.
Right, you probably don't want to put on a super fast-paced action movie right before bed.
Haha, exactly. For this relaxing listening practice, you want slow, clear speech. Think of content where the speakers enunciate well and don't speak too quickly. You're not trying to challenge your active listening skills here. You're trying to let the language wash over you.
So, things like guided meditations in English, where the speaker's voice is calm and the pace is slow, would be perfect, wouldn't they?
Absolutely perfect. Calming topics are key. Think nature sounds combined with gentle English narration, peaceful stories, or even slow, natural conversations about everyday, non-stressful subjects. The goal is to feel relaxed, not stimulated.
And what about the complexity of the language? Should it be super simple, or can it be a bit more challenging?
Good question. You want content that's slightly above your current level, but not overwhelmingly so. If it's too simple, you might get bored. If it's too complex, your brain might try too hard to understand, which defeats the purpose of relaxation. You should be able to grasp the general gist, even if you don't catch every single word.
So, something like a beginner's audiobook, but not a children's book, or perhaps a podcast like Thesaurus Thrive, wink.
Oh, absolutely. Podcasts like ours, where we speak clearly and conversationally about topics that are relatable, can be fantastic. You know, you can even find podcasts specifically designed for English learners that focus on slower speech and common topics. The point is to find something that you find genuinely calming and pleasant to listen to.
That's really key, finding something you enjoy, because if it's boring, you won't stick with it.
Exactly. Now, how to actually do it? It's pretty straightforward. The most popular method is to listen as you drift off to sleep. Just put on your chosen audio, set a timer on your device for maybe 15 to 30 minutes, and let yourself relax. The volume should be low and comfortable, something that won't startle you awake.
I actually do this sometimes. I'll put on a gentle podcast, and I swear I feel like I sleep better because my mind isn't racing. And then I wake up feeling like I've heard something useful.
It's truly a wonderful routine, but it's not just for sleep. You can also use this as background noise during relaxation. Maybe you're cooking, doing some light cleaning, drawing, knitting, or just sitting and enjoying a cup of tea. Instead of total silence or music, put on some calming English audio.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. So many wasted opportunities when I'm just doing chores. My brain isn't actively engaged, but it's not totally off either.
Precisely. Your conscious mind is busy with a simple task, allowing your subconscious to gently process the English. The key here is consistency, not intensity. You don't need to do it for hours every day. Even 15 to 20 minutes consistently, daily, can make a huge difference over time.
So small, regular doses are better than one long, intense session that you might not keep up with.
Absolutely. It's about building a habit and making English a natural, comforting part of your environment. Let's talk about some specific daily life examples. Imagine you're getting ready for bed, winding down. Instead of scrolling on your phone, you put on a simple story about someone's relaxing day, or a gentle meditation that guides you to breathe deeply in English.
That sounds so much better than the endless news cycle right before trying to sleep. It's like a mental detox while still learning.
Right? Or let's say you're taking a nice bath. You could listen to a slow English podcast discussing something pleasant, like different types of tea or gentle hobbies. The key is to associate English with relaxation and comfort.
I can totally see myself doing that. And the great thing is, you can reuse the same content, right? If you find a story or a meditation you like, listening to it multiple times would probably be even more effective for reinforcement.
You got it, Ava. Repeated exposure to the same material is fantastic. It allows your brain to deepen those connections and pick up nuances you might have missed the first few times. This isn't about active recall, it's about familiarity.
Okay, so what are some useful vocabulary words and phrases that relate to this whole idea? We've used a few already.
Excellent point. Let's highlight some. We've talked about drift off, which means to gradually fall asleep. You can say, I love to drift off to sleep listening to calming music.
And subconscious, which is the part of your mind that's active without you being fully aware of it. So your subconscious mind is absorbing English.
Perfect. Then there's absorb, meaning to take something in, like your brain absorbing language. Also, gentle exposure, which describes the non-intense way we're suggesting you learn. It's not harsh or demanding.
I like background noise because that's exactly what the audio becomes. It's there, but it's not demanding your full attention.
Yes, it creates an immersive background. And words like unwind or relaxing and calming are key because they describe the state you want to be in. When you unwind, you relax after stress. And of course, passive learning describes this whole approach, learning without direct, conscious effort.
All great words for explaining this method, and they're quite common, so it's good for listeners to add them to their vocabulary.
Definitely. Now, for our practice section, we want you, our amazing listeners, to speak English aloud. Repeating these simple sentences will help you build confidence and get your mouth used to making English sounds. Don't worry about perfection, just try your best.
Exactly. So after I say each sentence, I'll pause briefly. That's your cue to repeat it out loud. Ready? Here's the first one.
I enjoy listening to calming stories.
Great. Next.
This helps me relax and learn.
Perfect. Here's another one.
My English is improving every day.
You're doing great. Try this one.
I'm learning even when I'm sleeping.
And the last one for now.
Gentle listening is very helpful.
Fantastic job, everyone. Keep practicing those sounds.
That's it. Just those small moments of speaking can really make a difference. Now, Ava, you mentioned earlier that you sometimes do this. Let's have a little mini conversation about how it feels in real life.
Yeah, definitely, Lily. I used to feel so much pressure to study every minute. Like if I wasn't actively doing grammar exercises or flashcards, I wasn't really learning.
Exactly. And that pressure can be so demotivating, right? It makes learning feel like a chore.
Totally. But then I started listening to a slow English audiobook before bed, just a simple story. And I swear, sometimes I'd wake up and a phrase or a word from the story would just pop into my head.
That's the magic, isn't it? Your brain just starts connecting the dots without you consciously forcing it. It's almost like background processing.
Yeah, like I wasn't trying to learn it, but it was just there. And it made me feel so much more confident. Like, hey, I'm actually picking things up.
And that confidence is huge for fluency. When you feel like you're making progress effortlessly, it encourages you to do more, right? It breaks down that fear of English.
Completely. And the best part is that it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a treat, like I'm doing something nice for myself. And then bonus, I'm also improving my English.
That's exactly the mindset we want to cultivate. English learning should be a source of joy and curiosity, not stress. So to wrap up, we want to give you a few practical tips to really make this work for you.
Yes, these are simple, but they're really effective. My first tip is start small. Don't feel like you need to listen for hours right away. Even 10 or 15 minutes as you're winding down or doing a quick chore is enough to start building the habit.
That's a fantastic point. Small, consistent steps lead to big results. My second tip is choose enjoyable content. This goes back to what we discussed. If you find the audio boring or stressful, you won't stick with it. Find topics, voices, or stories that genuinely soothe you or pique your gentle interest.
Absolutely. If you like nature, find a podcast about forests or oceans. If you like simple life stories, look for those. Make it a pleasure, not a task. My third tip is be patient and don't overthink it. This isn't a quick fix where you wake up fluent tomorrow. It's a gradual process of exposure and absorption.
Yes, and that means not trying to actively understand every single word. Just let it flow. Trust that your brain is doing its work in the background. If you start analyzing too much, you'll lose the relaxation benefit.
Right, just let it be. And I have a bonus tip for everyone. Create a routine. Just like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee, try to integrate this listening practice into a specific part of your day or evening. Making it a habit makes it much easier to stick with.
That's a brilliant bonus tip, Ava. A routine provides structure without demanding intense effort. So there you have it, everyone. Improving your English doesn't always have to be about intense study sessions. Sometimes the most effective learning happens when you're simply relaxing, allowing your brain to gently soak in the language.
It's about making English a natural, comforting part of your life. And when you do that, you'll find your comprehension, your ear for the language, and your overall confidence will naturally begin to blossom.
So we really encourage you to try this method. Find some calming English audio tonight, set your timer, and let your brain do some effortless learning. You might be surprised at the subtle but powerful progress you make.
And if you found this episode helpful, please give us a thumbs up, share it with a friend who might also benefit, and subscribe to Thesaurus Thrive for more tips on making your English journey fun and effective.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep thriving in your English journey.
We'll catch you in the next episode. Sweet dreams and happy listening.